Good Wednesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, as always, let's head outside and take a look outside our weather window from this afternoon. How about this gorgeous shot from our Sky-Fi tower camera up in Wenatchee Heights, the cross camera, and boy, what a difference a day makes. Yesterday when we got together at this time, we couldn't hardly see anything in the afternoon because of all the low clouds and rain showers. Today, yeah, we had lots of wind this morning, but beautiful this afternoon with those blue skies. And speaking of wind, wow, was it blowing this morning about 5:30? Here are some of the wind speeds, the peak wind gusts. Look at Post Falls, Idaho, 70 miles an hour, Coeur d'Alene, 61. Winthrop, windy up that way at 57 miles an hour. Moses Lake, 51. Wenatchee, we actually got up to about 54 mile an hour wind gusts. That was at 5:30 this morning, and it was windy all over central and eastern Washington. Quiet weather ahead. We'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. An escaped inmate from the Okanagan County Jail made it as far as Portland, Oregon before being recaptured, along with a woman accused of helping him flee. A Wenatchee man faces possible charges of drug possession with intent to sell after deputies allegedly found 10 ounces of methamphetamine in the car he was driving. 3 men face burglary charges after sheriff's deputies allegedly found them inside the former American Silicon plant in Rock Island. And 4th District Congressman Dan Newhouse broke ranks today with his fellow Republicans, saying he'll vote to impeach President Donald Trump. But first, we begin tonight. A portion of Sleepy Hollow Road outside Wenatchee was limited to 1 lane this morning as crews removed rocks from the roadway, one of several problems caused by that windstorm early this morning. Chelan County crews also reported 12 to 15 trees down throughout the county. Winds in excess of 50 miles per hour, as we mentioned, hit much of north central Washington, with the strongest gusts reported right here in the Wenatchee area. Pangborn wind gusts, as we mentioned, topped out at 54 miles per hour, and that was at 5:30 a.m. Power outages in Chelan, Douglas, Grant, and Okanagan counties from the windstorm were fairly limited, though. The Weather Service said a wind gust of 51 miles per hour was recorded at Moses Lake. That time was at 5 this morning. An escaped inmate from the Okanagan County Jail made it as far as Portland, Oregon before being recaptured, along with a woman accused of helping him flee. The Okanagan County Sheriff's Office says U.S. Marshals on Tuesday arrested 53-year-old Christian Edward White of Rock Island, along with 64-year-old Teresa Lancaster of Kashmir. White escaped from the jail through an HVAC vent on January 5th, along with Christopher L. Whitman of Bellingham. Lancaster is suspected of helping in the escape, including giving White a ride to Omak the day he fled the jail. She faces possible charges of rendering criminal assistance and conspiracy. White had been jailed awaiting trial on charges of fleeing police, methamphetamine possession, malicious mischief, and hit and run. Meanwhile, Whitman, who's 28, was charged with possession of a stolen vehicle, malicious mischief, and a previous escape attempt, and he still remains at large. Well, a Wenatchee man faces possible charges of drug possession with intent to sell after deputies allegedly found 10 ounces of methamphetamine in the car he was driving. 21-year-old Juan Ramiro Sanchez Romero was stopped on Sunday by Douglas County Sheriff's deputies for a broken brake light. He was wanted on a Department of Corrections warrant, and a later search of his vehicle allegedly found a box containing meth plus about 7 ounces of marijuana. Sanchez is due to be arraigned in Douglas County Court on January 25th. Meanwhile, 3 men faced burglary charges after sheriff's deputies allegedly found them inside the former American Silicon plant in Rock Island. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office says 36-year-old William C. Brown, 38-year-old Sean David Bossert, and 47-year-old Joseph Adair Jr. were all found inside the factory after tripping a burglar alarm late Saturday night carrying burglary tools. They're suspected of setting out to steal metal and machine parts from the facility, which has been out of operation since 2003. Adair is from East Wenatchee. The other 2 men are Wenatchee residents. Well, 4th District Congressman Dan Newhouse broke ranks today with his fellow Republicans, saying he'll vote to impeach President Donald Trump for stoking last week's invasion of the U.S. Capitol building. In debate over the historic vote in the House to impeach Trump for a second time, Newhouse, who represents Grant, Douglas, and Okanagan counties, said both Democrats and Republicans bear responsibility for partisan violence in the United States.
Others, including myself, are responsible for not speaking out sooner, before the president misinformed and inflamed a violent mob who tore down the American flag and brutally beat Capitol police officers. Madam Speaker, we must all do better. These articles of impeachment are flawed, but I will not use process as an excuse. There is no excuse for President Trump's actions. The president took an oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Last week, there was a domestic threat at the door of the Capitol, and he did nothing to stop it. That is why, with a heavy heart and clear resolve, I will vote yes on these articles of impeachment.
Newhouse is the second Washington Republican to come out in favor of impeachment after Jamie Herrera Butler of Southwest Washington. Coming up next, 2 North Central Washington legislators say teachers and school staff shouldn't have to wait until April to receive the coronavirus vaccine. With the Washington legislature back in session, Commissioner of Public Lands Hillary Franz put forward a bill Tuesday that would create a dedicated $125 million funding source for wildfire response and preparation. And Washington Senior Senator Patty Murray will become chair of the Education Committee. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Winter is a great time to trade in your current hot tub. Turn your old hot tub into money with Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa's trade-in program. You can save $500 to $1,000 off of any new artesian spa or take advantage of a free Bluetooth music experience. Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa recommends draining your hot tub every 3 months. Ask us about our drain and refill special. Stop on by Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa today. Mary Maids of Wenatchee has been professionally cleaning and sanitizing homes and businesses in North Central Washington since 1998. Mary Maids uses commercial-grade cleaners and viricides. Mary Maids has implemented additional safety and sanitation protocols. They are strictly following CDC guidelines for the safety of their clients and employees. For expert help with cleaning and sanitizing your home or business, call or look up Mary Maids of Wenatchee to schedule your free estimate today.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Welcome back. In another news, 2 North Central Washington legislators say teachers and school staff shouldn't have to wait until April to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. That's roughly when educators younger than 50 are scheduled for COVID-19 vaccinations under the state's new phased inoculation plan. 12th District Senator Brad Hawkins and 13th District Representative Alex Ybarra sent an open letter Monday asking Governor Jay Inslee to revise the vaccine schedule so all teachers and staff members begin receiving their shots in February. Right now, that's when educators 50 and older can expect to start vaccinating. Hawkins and Ybarra are the ranking Republican members of the education committees in the Senate and House, respectively. The request is bipartisan. The Democratic chairs of both committees also signed on to that letter. Well, with the Washington legislature back in session, Commissioner of Public Lands Hillary Franz put forward a bill Tuesday that would create a dedicated $125 million funding source for wildfire response and preparation. Last year's wildfire season destroyed more than 800,000 acres and 298 homes, including severe damage to Bridgeport and the near destruction of the town of Malden. A 1-year-old child died and his parents were badly burned after being trapped by fire in Okanogan County. State Representative Larry Springer of Kirkland is the primary sponsor of the bill.
Admittedly, this is a little personal for me. My wife and I own a vacation cabin over near Lake Wenatchee, and 2 years ago we were evacuated. And come to find out, the fire that was burning, that caused that evacuation, was burning in an area that had not seen a flicker of fire for over 100 years. The fuel load that had built up over that time was enormous. When we talk about forest management and forest health, that's what we're talking about, going back into those areas that we can clearly identify and reducing that fuel load, and starting to build protective barriers around what we call the Ermine wildfire interface, that area of land between where people live and where the forests are. From a legislative point of view and from a budget point of view, I want to emphasize that $125 million every biennium is a lot of money. On the other hand, paying for the cost of putting out wildfires all over the state will cost us ever so much more. This is the old homily, an ounce of prevention. It just makes good fiscal sense, if not good moral and economic sense.
Washington's senior Senator Patty Murray will become chair of the Education Committee following the Democratic takeover of the U.S. Senate. Murray replaces longtime Tennessee Senator Lamar Alexander, who retired at the end of the last Congress. Murray, a former preschool teacher, has served as the ranking Democrat on the committee since 2015. As the chair, she'll have oversight over a variety of education issues, although she says her top priority will be the impact of the coronavirus pandemic. Last month, Murray said she wants Congress to pass a new COVID-19 relief package that would include more money for K-12 schools once President-elect Joe Biden takes office on January 20th. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's featured story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
If you are looking for dependable car service and repair, visit the good guys at Quick Lube and Tune. They've been keeping cars and trucks in the Wenatchee Valley running smooth for 35 years. Quick Lube and Tune is your hometown shop for a 10-minute oil change, complete tune-ups, alignments, brakes, mufflers, air conditioning service, and more. Get more life out of your vehicle by bringing it to the local guys you can trust at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue.
From the ocean to the mountains to the forest in between, vacation time can be a fun time. But not if your car breaks down. Call Global Car Care today. Have a service approved over $150 on your vehicle, and Global Car Care will donate an oil change service to one of our local heroes at Confluence Health. Look for more incentives online. Global Car Care cares about their community.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. In tonight's feature story, distributing the COVID-19 vaccine in a rural setting poses distinct challenges. In Moses Lake, the chief medical officer for Samaritan Healthcare says her hospital is making strides in getting the vaccine out to those prioritized. Still, Dr. Andrea Carter told a Washington State Hospital Association press conference that there's some reluctance to accept the preventative inoculation.
We broke the 1,000 vaccine mark just this past Friday, which for our region, I think we're doing okay. We've had some outreach clinics. We've gone to Quincy Valley Hospital so that we could access people in Quincy without them having to drive into Moses Lake, and we'll have their second clinic later this month. We have an event planned in North Grant County for later this week so that we can serve those people as one of the first distribution sites in Central Washington. We've been working with long-term care facilities to help get them vaccinated as well. One of the things that I don't know that we're unique, but it feels unique out here in the middle of everything, is we kind of have a split community where there are some people that are all in on vaccines and then some that are all out on vaccines. And unfortunately, there's a fair number in our 1A phase that are not necessarily buying into the vaccine. So we're working hard to educate. I think it's an educational piece, and we're working hard to get our staff educated and the medical community in general in Grant County educated so that we can get those people vaccinated and keep moving forward. Frankly, vaccines has become almost its own new service line, and it's hard to find the bodies to physically to staff that. Having said that, we're actually doing really good. I think that staff are tired, they're exhausted from all of this, but providing those new services like vaccines is very invigorating for them. So there's been some energy around doing vaccines.
Time now to take a look at your north central Washington weather forecast. And man, how about that wind this morning? It woke me up. I don't know about you, at about 4:30 this morning. Thought my house was going to shake down, that's for sure. As I mentioned, wind gusts, some say 54 miles an hour, at least over 50 miles an hour throughout the Wenatchee Valley, over into Moses Lake, and for you folks up in the Okanagan Highlands and Waterville Plateau. It was a windy one, but look at this afternoon. It turned out beautiful, didn't it? We still had some breezy conditions out there, but boy, nothing like this morning, and all kinds of beautiful blue skies and warm temperatures. Unofficially today, high temperature in the Wenatchee area. Look at that, 47 degrees, way above where we should be at 34 this time of year. 32 was our overnight low, and then we warmed up throughout the overnight. 24 is our normal low temperature. 55, record high at 1994. Record low was once again in 2017 at 1 degree below zero. Past 24 hours, 24 hundredths of an inch of more moisture. It's almost a quarter of an inch, and that now gets us to 1.07 inches for the year, way above where we should be for this time of year. Sunrise this morning was at 7:44, and the sun set this afternoon at 4:35. Let's take a look at your Thursday forecast. And really, tomorrow will begin a very quiet weather pattern as we head into the upcoming weekend and the first part of next week. Lower 40s, Moses Lake, Ephrata, and Quincy. And then we're talking mid to upper 30s back in the Wenatchee Valley and some of the higher elevations. 36 Chelan, 37 Wenatchee, and 36 tomorrow's high temperature for you folks up in Omak. Tonight we can expect partly cloudy skies, very quiet once again. High pressure right here is building a big dome over the Pacific Northwest, and that's keeping most of the storm systems at bay. The wind that we saw last night and this morning moving off into the Dakotas now. By the time we get into Thursday, mostly sunny skies. Won't that be nice? Light wind. We're not going to see 40s tomorrow, probably more upper 30s, so we will see a bit of a cool down throughout the inland Northwest. For Friday, partly cloudy skies and mild. As I mentioned, boy, we're in the midst of a very mild weather pattern. There's that area of high pressure once again providing that dome of beautiful weather as we head into the weekend. And then for our Saturday, mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures will remain above normal. In fact, clear skies and mild all throughout the western United States. Here's that next storm system. It tries to make its way into the Pacific Northwest. It just can't, though, because this area of high pressure will actually slide back out into the Pacific. So Sunday looks beautiful. Mostly sunny, unseasonably warm for Sunday. We're talking temperatures once again in the lower 40s. And then as we get into Monday and Tuesday, same thing. We're going to expect partly to mostly cloudy skies with temperatures then once again in the lower 40s. 7-day forecast now. 28 the overnight low tonight, so a little bit cooler with those clear skies. Tomorrow 37, so a pretty good cool down from today for tomorrow. 39 on Friday, 38 Saturday, and then we warm back up once again for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday under mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies Sunday and Monday, low 40s, and then a chance for rain once again on Tuesday with a high then of 41. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Kerry Condata. This is the 12th District TV show, aired 8 times every week on NCWLIFE TV. We cover business and politics like no one else does it because I've been there and done it. 30 years self-employed, 16 years in the House of Representatives, and 12 years running campaigns across the state of Washington. That resume means you're getting information you can't get anywhere else. This is the 12th District. I'm Kerry Condata.
In a world afraid of technology, one man, one show will bring you the newest innovations that may just change your life. This summer, Ray McNeil and your Weekly Tech Update is your Weekly Tech Update with Ray McNeil.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Wednesday to you. Thanks to Dan for filling in the last couple of days. If you've never had any back problems in your life, consider yourself lucky. I am still out as I sit here, but I'm here. That's the thing. The theme of Let Russ Cook apparently meant indigestion for Seahawks coach Pete Carroll as he parted ways with his offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer on Tuesday. As Seattle prepared for its season amid a pandemic, the Brain Trust worked on a way to turn the offense loose, allowing quarterback Russell Wilson to throw more. It worked out of the gate as the Seahawks won their first 5 games at a record pace. The last half of the season, however, was a different story as Wilson and the offense regressed and struggled. News of Schottenheimer's termination came after Coach Carroll refused to talk to the media about any coaching changes when asked by Joe Fan.
Pete, just to follow up on Ian's question, can you confirm or not that your coordinators will be back next year? Or is that still
Joe, I don't talk about stuff like that, and it's not even. It's disrespectful for me to even address those questions. I'm not gonna. I don't. We're gonna figure out what we need to do to get better, and just like we always do. And I love my guys. I love the way they've worked and the dedication and all that they brought. And so I'm counting everybody coming back. Our coaches are getting calls all over the place. There's all kinds of things going on. I don't know what's going to happen. Guys are involved with jobs that you don't know about, and there's all kinds of things. I got to wait and see what happens. I don't know exactly how it's going to go, so we'll just wait.
Over the years, Carroll has preferred a more run-heavy approach to his football teams with an emphasis on a strong defense. He alluded to the fact that things needed to change prior to next season.
It's really a football thing. It's a scheme thing, and I want to see if we can run the ball more effectively to focus the play of the opponents and see if we can force them to do things like we like them to do more, like we have been able to do that in the past. That doesn't mean we're going to run the ball 50 times a game. It means we need to run the ball with direction and focus and style that allows us to dictate the game. And so, I mean, frankly, I'd like to not play against 2 deep looks all season long next year. And so we have to be able to get that done. It's not just the running game. It is the style of passes that will help us some, but we have to get after it a little bit differently. So as it unfolded in the end of the season, it became really obvious. In the last 4 or 5 games, it became really obvious. And remember, I don't mind winning 20-9. I don't mind winning 17-14. I want to win controlling the game. That means we don't give them the football. We gave them the football a couple times in this game, and it was the difference.
While Seattle's offense scored more points in franchise history this season and ended up ranked 17th overall and 3rd worst in the NFL in protecting its quarterback, Russell Wilson sacked 47 times during the regular season. Well, now on to some positive Seahawks news regarding their GM. John Schneider, the general manager who helped build the Seahawks into one of the NFL's best franchises over the past decade, is sticking around well into the current one. The team announced that Schneider signed a contract extension that will keep him in Seattle through the 2027 draft. Rumors had been circulating about Detroit and other teams trying to lure Schneider away from Seattle. Jody Allen, chair of Seahawks, said, quote, "John and head coach Pete Carroll have formed a tremendous partnership. I know we are all excited to see that continue," end quote. Schneider's extension comes just a few months after Coach Carroll's contract was extended through the 2025 season. Well, athletic directors for North Central Washington schools have spent the past week in Zoom conferences trying to determine a way to move forward with the restarting sports in local high schools. The meetings followed a directive from the WIAA a week ago following the state's new Healthy Washington initiative to resume sports by February 1st. Now, while that may work in schools in Western Washington, not feasible here in Eastern Washington. So athletic directors devised a schedule to include all schools within North Central Washington region of the Healthy Washington Restart Plan. This includes 3 4A schools, Wenatchee, Eastmont, and Moses Lake, 1 2A school, Ephrata, 7 1A schools, Royal, Wahluke, Quincy, Cascade, Cashmere, Chelan, and Omak, 9 2B schools, including Brewster, Bridgeport, Lake Roosevelt, Liberty Bell, Manson, Okanagan, Oroville, Tenascan, and Warden, and 9 1B schools, Cascade Christian, Elmira, Cooley, Heartline, Etiat, Moses Lake Christian, Patera, Soap Lake, Waterville, Mansfield, and Wilson Creek. Now, the region's athletic directors also came up with start dates for the seasons to come. The fall season will begin with football practice February 16th and the rest of the sports to begin practice February 22nd. Competition will begin February 27th for all sports except football, which will begin March 4th. The fall sports season will end on April 3rd. Let's take a look at the men's college basketball as it resumes around the region tomorrow night. Washington State plays at UCLA at 2 o'clock tomorrow on FS1. Washington travels to USC at 5:30 on the Pac-12 network. Then at 6, it's number 1 Gonzaga hosting Pepperdine on ESPN. The women's floor Thursday, number 20 Gonzaga travels to Santa Clara at 6 o'clock. Then on Friday, number 25 Washington State plays at USC at 4:30 on the Pac-12 network. Washington's game at number 8 UCLA has been postponed because of COVID problems in the Husky program. Here's what we have on schedule for the NCWLIFE channel as far as sports is concerned. It begins with hockey night tomorrow night as the Wenatchee Wild host the West Kelowna Warriors in BCHL hockey at the Town Toyota Center. This game's from October 24th of 2019. Our checker with a play-by-play beginning at 7 o'clock. We have Eastmont and Wenatchee basketball from January of last year at the Town Toyota Center. First up is the girls at 7, followed by the boys at 8:30. That's tomorrow. Then on Saturday, it's actually on Friday. Then on Saturday, it's another twin dip of Wenatchee Panther basketball as they host the Eisenhower Cadets. Girls at 2 o'clock, and the boys will tip it up at 7. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Grandstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Eric, and hope that back gets better very soon. Well, as we leave you tonight, the Chelan County Sheriff's Office shared this photo Tuesday on the department's Instagram page. It shows an unidentified deputy shoveling snow from the memorial to Deputy Saul Gallegos on Highway 150 near Manson. Gallegos was shot and killed in 2003 by a man he was investigating for driving with a suspended license. Gallegos was 35 years old. Now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thanks, Grant. Now, normally I would be previewing Thursday's edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, but I want to jump ahead today. I want to jump ahead today to Friday because Friday is a perfect storm. 3 things happen on Friday. Number 1, it's right in the middle of the month, the 15th. Number 2, it's payday. So I'll have $37.19 that I wouldn't have necessarily on Thursday. And of course, Friday, being the middle of the month and payday, is the day I shower. Yep, so all my coworkers are excited. Friday, payday, middle of the month, Dan takes a shower. Can it get any better than that? In the meantime, join me tomorrow and I'll cobble together some sort of show. Grant, back to you.
Thanks, Dan. The only way you could get better, watch the Buffalo Bills on Saturday. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.
2021 models are arriving at Sangster Motors. General Motors is on the move with the all-new 2021 Yukon. Yukon is redesigned from the ground up with a bold new look and all the latest technology. Also new is the Canyon AT4 pickup. This off-road equipped mid-size truck will challenge any rival for performance and value. Both of these models will offer Duramax diesel options for maximum power and economy. The American Challenge is game on at Sangster Motors now.
I'm Shauna Pringle, and I'm the Assistant Regional Long-Term Care Ombudsman here at Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington. The Ombuds program serves individuals residing in long-term care. We are resident rights advocates for folks living in nursing homes, assisted living facilities, and adult family homes. Our region serves Adams, Chelan, Douglas, Grant, Lincoln, and Okanogan counties. We are always free and confidential. Due to COVID, many freedoms have been restricted to protect the vulnerable from infection. Mandates and policies are ever changing. These are challenging times for all, but especially those residents living in isolation from family and friends. To understand more about